This is the limitless Keith Lee.
This is Brody King.
This is Angel Garza.
Will Ospreay.
Hornswoggle.
Pentagon Jr.
The Mexican Rey Fenix.
King Ricochet.
Concrete Rose, Sunny Kiss.
And I'm here to ask you to stop what you're doing, take just one moment, and bask in the glory of the Busted Wide Open.
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 Boston wide open.
Busted wide open. Thank you.
You're listening to the Busted Wide Open podcast, dropping the elbow on the hottest topics in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling. With your hosts, Nick Howell and Sir Ian Dangerous. Coming to you from the Orbital Jigsaw Network Arena in sunny Southern California. Members and general phenomenal ones, welcome to your July 2021 bonus episode. My name is Nick Howell.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous, and yes, it's a bonus episode. That's right, your money pays for these, so we're here to provide because we want to give you guys the extra content that you deserve, and also these are a lot of fun too. So thank you guys, of course, as always, for supporting the show. We really appreciate it. We could not be doing this without you. So all thanks and praises due unto the phenomenal ones. We are here to give you a bonus episode today that is very appropriate, given that, Nick, according to my watch, it's summertime. And you know what happens in summertime?
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. That's right. The second biggest pay-per-view in WWE's schedule. And also typically one of the better shows that they put on. Definitely a lot of great SummerSlams in the annals of WWE history. Hello. And we're here to talk about them. In fact, we're going to do something that's on the surface pretty basic. It's pretty normal. We're going to make our top list of greatest SummerSlam matches. But of course, it wouldn't be busted wide open unless we threw some sort of complication or wrench up into these gears. Sabotage.
Now, to be clear, we're not ranking these as professional wrestling journalists that we are.
No.
We're picking our personal favorites.
And that can overlap with like the greatest technical matches, but we're going to pick the 10 best SummerSlam matches. In fact, actually, if we want to have a little fun with this, we will end up with the BWO 5 greatest SummerSlam matches of all time, as determined first by our picks. And of course, it wouldn't be a pick'em show, Nick, without us having some sort of friendly competition here.
Why do our bonus episodes always turn into Survivor Series? Why do we always end up going head-to-head in direct competition?
Because it's fun, damn it. We're on a show about competition. We might as well have some sort of competition. Keeps things exciting. But yes, that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to we've each individually put together a list of our 10 favorite matches. And then we're going to go from 10 to 1. And we're actually going to, as we usually do, we're going to rely on the die. We're going to roll for initiative for each pick and for that position.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Roll for initiative on each pick because each one's going to matter. Okay. We can poach. We cannot each have the same match on our list here. We're going to have, and ultimately, we're going to end up with 20 great SummerSlam matches. And then those matches are going to face off in head-to-head competition. We're going to get back down to 10. And then those 10 are going to face off in head-to-head competition. We're going to get down to 5. By the end of the show, we will have the 5 greatest SummerSlam matches of all time.
I think there's some fault in that logic. So we're going to let a roll of the die determine what we think is our favorite, as a show, our favorite SummerSlam match, ultimately.
It'll still be like for each of the positions, so it'll just collapse the whole list down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, let's put it this way. We're going to pick 20 amazing matches.
Totally.
That's going to be 20 of the 100 and I think 50, 160 SummerSlam matches that exist. We're narrowing it down to 20. 20 good ones. And then we're going to let the fates decide which 10 of those 20 are actually better. And then of those 10, we're going to let the fates decide again which are the better. Hey, you've been on the show long enough to know, Nick, the die don't lie.
That's true.
The die it's got real strong instincts as far as what is truth.
I mean,
So-
look, when we did our mock, was it Survivor Series? With
Yes.
Brian Cage showing out,
That was amazing.
it was very timely because he imminently turned face
Yes.
and has since gone on a face run against.
Well, they listened to the
Team
show,
Taz.
so Taz
Absolutely.
listened to that and was like, I can't argue with their die. I gotta, on the show, it said it,
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah. So I guess
FTW champion, the die.
So from your perspective, is the idea here to get our best ones in first so that we don't poach each other's? Is that what you're going to try and do?
See, that is going to be the interesting part here. Is no, we're actually going to go from our least to our most. So things are going to get real hairy towards the end there.
Oh, okay.
Hey, come on, man. We can't make this easy on ourselves. I know you want the easy way out. There's no easy way out, Nick. This is life. This is real
a
life.
shortcut home.
No shortcuts in BWO SummerSlam
There's
top
no
10
easy
list.
way out.
That's right.
There's
Exactly.
no shortcut home.
Our phenomenal patrons and YouTube members are paying us to take the hard way out. They're paying us to be hard.
I get it.
Wait, hold on. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The bottom line is we're going to have to do this the hard way. So, Nick, let's not waste any more time. You all know the deal, linktree.com/BWO. Spread it around to all your friends. Get everyone on board with us. But here we are. It's the bonus episode. Nick, I have my beautiful 20-sided dice that I've had since I was a nerd
Heat
in
it
high
up a
school.
little bit. Get it.
This is middle
warmed up.
school. Middle school. Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Get
On the old short
get that
sleeve
nice
there.
palm sweat. Get
Yep.
that palm sweat all over it. Make it nice and tacky. Mm-hmm. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our top list of the greatest SummerSlam matches of all time. We will, of course, begin with spot number 10. And, Nick, we're going to roll for initiative to figure out who gets to pick their 10 spot first. 1, 2, and 3. Your boy, good start. I rolled a 3. Crap.
6.
Damn.
This is harder than like picking number 1.
I made it tacky. Well, that's the idea. That's the whole point. You have to plan and pray your plans don't get disrupted by moi.
So this is more of like chess pieces on the chessboard, and which one do I want
Correct.
to move first?
That's right. This is 4D chess.
I think I'm going to kick things off with SummerSlam 2013. And that was the interesting thing about SummerSlam 2013. It was a co-main event. Mm-hmm. That was the interesting thing that I remembered about this one. I am going to pick Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. The interesting thing about this match had Triple H as a guest ref.
Yes.
And most people don't remember how freaking good the match was because that was when Randy Orton cashed in his title after Triple H beat down Daniel Bryan at the end after his whole thing. So
the authority,
the authority angle. Mostly the match itself is overlooked by that cash in. Go back and watch the match between Cena and Daniel Bryan. It's fantastic. The funny thing about this list, I made this list and I promised myself this weekend I'm going to go back and watch my list. And I think after this, I'm going to go back and watch like all of the 20 episodes or matches that we end up coming up with. So
that's a good call.
That was mine. Number 10 for me, Daniel Bryan versus Cena.
And that was not on my list because that ending pissed me off so bad, which of course is the point. But that was the beginning of the Yes movement, you could argue. Like people were behind Daniel Bryan at that point, but like that's when he really got screwed by the authority. And it looked like WWE was going to run with that. Like, yeah, that's just how it is. He's going to be a B-plus player. And the next year he had, that was WrestleMania 30 the next year. It was the big moment for Daniel Bryan. So this was arguably kind of the beginning of that storyline.
Yep.
So no, that's a good call.
Thank you.
Really good call. And that wasn't a fantastic match. Even call it that match, if you go and watch it, they call back Daniel Bryan and John Cena in that match. They call back to the very first match they ever had on, I think it was Velocity. Like they actually have like some incredible callbacks in that match to previous matches that they've had all the way back to their first match. So no, fantastic call. Good call.
How about you? What was your number 10?
Mine is also John Cena.
Imagine
from
that.
The following year.
Ooh.
John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Now, this is not a great technical match. It's not even a match, really. It's a squash. And yeah, I'm putting a squash in.
This was
list.
This was Suplex City. This was the 16 suplexes.
16, 17 suplexes. Yeah, this was the beginning of Suplex City.
Yeah.
And the reason that I have such a fond memory of it was at a time when stuff was very stale throughout a lot of WWE. And one of the things that was stale was John Cena. And Cena didn't get beat. And he had just actually come out of a program where he basically just buried Bray Wyatt again. And then all of a sudden this happens. And it was the craziest goddamn thing I've ever seen. There's some other crazy stuff on this list, but this was one of the ones that was just Cena getting just mauled by Brock Lesnar for 10 minutes. Just suplex after suplex, and it was like watching a murder.
Yeah.
And it took place here in LA. It was at the Staples Center.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And like I knew people that were at that show who afterwards were like, dude, it was the audience didn't know what to do. Like we were so happy to see Cena get destroyed, but at the same time, it was so crazy.
It's hard to watch.
Like it was, yeah, because at a certain point you were like, Jesus Christ, he's actually killing him out there. It was wild. It was unpredictable. It was unusual. And I think the uniqueness of it and also how it felt at the time. A lot of these are kind of going on like how I felt when I watched them the first time. Mm-hmm. This was like, I was riveted. I was on the edge of my seat, much more so than a lot of these more quote unquote traditional matches. So this very memorable, but I had to put this in. That's why it's at the 10 spot for me. Is it's not, it's not higher than that. It's a squash.
Yeah.
But my God, what a crazy match. Cena versus Brock 2014 is my 10 spot. So.
I think the first half of these are somewhat interchangeable as the 6 through 10 position. There's a lot of, what you like, what you don't like kind of things that go into.
The top one we're going to start fighting, dude.
The top ones are going to get ugly.
I'm all right. They really are. All right, the 9 spot. Let's roll for initiative here.
Right.
On the next one. 1, 2, 3. Another 3? What the hell is going on?
15.
Son of a bitch. All right, go ahead.
I was torn between these two for 8 or 9 because like I said, they're kind of all sort of interchangeable at the top of the list here. But what I'm going to go with is SummerSlam 2009. And I thought this one was interesting in the dynamics of it because of what was happening with both the superstars. One reaching their end, one beginning their rise. The fact that it was I'm referring to CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy.
Oh, yes.
Because it was Hardy at the time. You guys got to remember 12 years ago, Jeff Hardy was one of the biggest superstars in the world. He was lightning, right? Everybody was all over him. His contract was expiring and he was teasing that he wasn't going to renew, which ultimately we know he didn't. CM Punk was still trying to make himself known, even though he was a 2-time champ already. He wasn't really in the position that he got to in 2011, 2012. He just wasn't there yet. The beauty of this match was at its end. It was a ladder match with the title suspended. Both of them, and it was a violent high spot match constantly. They both go out on stretchers. And you're sitting there going, are they gonna? Is anybody? Did Vacant win? Right? Punk comes running in at the end. Hardy comes out chasing. Punk punches him as they face off at the top of the ladder. Punk pulls the title down. So fantastic match. A lot of fun. You and I have a proclivity for ladder matches anyway. I'd be remiss if I didn't put this one in. But it's a fantastic ladder match for a championship. If you haven't checked it out before,
there's a lot of goddamn good ladder matches at SummerSlam and throughout the history. But that's a great one, man. That's a great one. It wasn't on my list either, but didn't make my list. But it easily could have. Yeah, that's a fantastic match. In my number 9 spot from 1996, I remember watching this live and just being like, "What the hell is going on? Oh my God!" Mankind versus The Undertaker in a boiler room brawl. Yeah. Winner has to claim the urn. This is when Paul Bearer turned on The Undertaker, too. This is when Paul Bearer turned and joined up with Mick Foley with Mankind, who had just kind of started in WWE. It was a new monster weirdo character, and Undertaker at the time was big. He was very over. So for Mick Foley to be put in a program with Undertaker was a big deal for him professionally. And then to innovate a match like this where it's in the bowels of the building, and they did some work. This is before hardcore matches were a typical thing in WWE. It might have been one of the first proper hardcore matches in WWE, and those dudes put in some work. A lot of stuff you'd never seen in WWE before, spots you'd never seen. But at the same time, you also had this great story of, is Paul Bearer turning on the Undertaker? Why would he do that? And all that. So that was a great subplot as well. Very cool match, very cool story, very unique. Once again, very unique match in terms of WWE history, and also two of the greats to have ever done it. So now my number 9 spot, Foley Taker from 1996.
I remembered that they had that match, but I didn't remember that it was in 96. I was thinking 97 or 98, and I didn't remember that it was at SummerSlam. That's one I definitely want to go back and watch again.
You definitely
might have to watch a couple of episodes leading up to it as well.
Definitely get the plot going in, because it's also like you watch it now and it definitely feels dated. A lot of the stuff that they're doing in that match, which at the time was innovative, is now like you start your matches with that in hardcore matches. But for WWE at the time, it was definitely very, very like, holy crap, I can't believe what we're watching.
Wow, so 4 good ones so far. All right, and we haven't poached each other's list yet, because I didn't have that one on mine.
Very civil. We've only done 2 slots, man. Let's not pat ourselves on the back yet. All right, rolling for initiative on number 3, the 8th spot. The 8th spot on our list of greatest SummerSlam matches of all time. Roll for initiative. 1, 2, 3. Oh, a natural 20, baby.
Good. You wasted it on a 2.
Destruction. I need to take this one. Well, good, because I wanted to make sure this was on my list. And that's from 2005. I mentioned one of the damnedest things I'd ever seen was John Cena getting murdered by Brock. Well, that's probably because the damnedest thing I'd seen before that took place in 2005 at SummerSlam, when Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels were supposed to have a 3-match feud. And that was what they had agreed to, was that they were going to have 3 matches. It was going to end in a cage match, and it was going to be Michaels winning all 3, but the first one Hulk Hogan was going to win, and then Michaels was going to win the next 2. And so Michaels turned heel for this feud and everything, and then we get close to SummerSlam for the first match, which again Hogan's supposed to win, and Hogan goes, I got this injury, brother. I'm only going to be able to do the 1 match. I can't really do any more than that. And Michaels is sitting here going, you're agreeing to do the 1 match that you're going to win. I do the politicking around here, pal, not you. I'm the politic boy, the sexy boy. That sexy boy. I'm not your politics boy. Politics boy. But anyway, so Shawn Michaels didn't get his way. The match went ahead with Hogan winning. But I'll be damned if Shawn Michaels was going to get away from this without letting Hogan know that he was not happy about it. So he decided to throw a bitch fit in the ring and oversell everything Hogan did, like Hogan was hitting him with cinder blocks. It was the funniest thing ever, was seeing him sell, like, because Shawn Michaels is a damn good seller.
Yep. One of the best.
He's already a big seller. So when he's going over, like, Hogan hits him and he flops across the ring and holds his face. Oh, God, my face. Hogan kicks him. He goes flying 10 feet in the air. It's amazing. And you can see Hogan getting so pissed off at him. And it ends up being a bloodbath of a match, too. Hogan bleeds like a stuck pig by the end of this match. It's actually a pretty damn good match, too, because it's Michaels. He still makes it a good match, but he's also selling like there's no tomorrow. It's amazing. I have to put this on my list. I still to this day enjoy this match so freaking much. I'm so entertained by this match, even though it's basically a grown man throwing a temper tantrum. I love this match.
That's funny. All right. So my number 8, that one was not on my list either. So this might actually work. This is working out so far.
Okay, good.
My number 8, I'm going to go to 2016. and bring Mr. SummerSlam 2.0 back,
All right.
and Mr. John Cena in a match with AJ Styles.
Oh, yes.
AJ versus Cena at 2016. Now, this was the result of AJ turning heel, if we remember.
Yeah.
The big thing about this match was AJ kicked out of a super attitude adjustment off the top turnbuckle.
Was it middle rope or was it top rope?
I'm not. It was, as far as I know, it was top.
I think it was middle rope.
But it was just something that really hadn't been
avalanche
done.
AA. It's an avalanche AA.
Avalanche AA. And
it was still a big deal.
The crowd popped as hard for that as they did as the finish when AJ kicked out of it.
I'm still popping.
And the crowd was hot. The match was hot. Two of the most proficient people in the ring having a baller match at SummerSlam. Fantastic. And, AJ's heel program went on. And it was amazing. So that was the one that kind of like marked him as being a top guy. Yep.
Like that was the match where they went, hey y'all, AJ Styles is going to be around for a while.
Yep. Yeah, he had just debuted. Was it that year he debuted? At Rumble?
Year before.
It was 2015, I thought.
Yeah, year before.
So he had been there 18 months.
Yeah, he'd been there long enough
that was the one.
Lose Jericho.
That was the one that put him on the map.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agreed. Yeah. I remember in those days it was a big deal if you could beat John Cena.
Yep.
Especially kick out of his finishing move. His super finishing move.
Yep.
That was a big. As I recall, Cena won the program, but this was definitely this was the match that mattered.
Totally.
So great call. Great call on that one. You're right. It's very friendly so far.
Yeah.
Well, we're moving on to the 7 slot, and things can start to get ugly. A little ugly here. Maybe not. I don't know. Mine I don't think is on your list. We're still in the personal preference part of the list before we get to the ugly stuff. All right, so roll for initiative for number 7, the 7 slot. 1, 2, 3, 16. Ya boy got 16.
We tied. We have to roll again.
Oh my. Okay. 1, 2, 3. A 10. Beat a 10. Oh, buddy. My number 7 slot is also pretty recent. And it's just. I'm going to admit right now, it's probably recency bias.
Okay.
I don't care. It's still one of the matches that I go back and I watch and I get the most massive mountainous goosebumps when I see this match. It's another one that's not even really a match. It's a squash. 2019, the debut of The Fiend against Finn Balor. And he squashes Finn Balor. It's just a murder. But the build-up that entire summer for The Fiend's debut, we'd seen The Fiend show up and murder Finn on the I think it was the Raw previous to this. Whatever the go-home show was they were on. He showed up and took out Finn Balor. So we'd seen what The Fiend looks like. We knew what The Fiend looked like. But we'd never seen his entrance. And I still to this day will argue that a pure Fiend entrance, it might be one of the greatest entrances of all time. And this one, the first time you saw it, and you saw all the accoutrements, the severed Bray Wyatt head with the lantern in his mouth, the newly remixed music, the lights, just the look of the Fiend coming out, and Balor kind of selling it like, oh shit, what have I got myself into?
Yeah, literally shitting himself in the ring.
Yeah, he had a lump in his pants in the front and the back for once.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's simple. It's just the kid in me lost his god. The kid in me and the horror fan lost their collective goddamn minds.
Yeah.
Over this match, and then to have him destroy Finn Balor, who at the time was, he's not the top guy. He was a big dude in WWE at the time. Destroy him, send him off to NXT. That was crazy. So this one had to be on my list. Fiend Balor, 2019.
That I will never forget that moment. And I think we were all kind of anticipating what that was going to be like after the summer buildup of Firefly Funhouse TV shows, right? We were all kind of wondering. I got to admit, I'm a little torn on this one. I've got 2. Nope, I know which one I'm going to do. Number 7. And this is probably going to start to reveal some of my favoritisms and bias if we kind of trend this a little bit. SummerSlam 2013. The other of the co-main events that I picked in the number 10 spot. In the number 10 spot, I told you Daniel Bryan and John Cena. Do you remember what the other one was?
No. 2013?
It was Brock Lesnar versus CM
Punk.
Punk.
CM Punk. Yes,
where
the best
Paul
versus the
Heyman
Beast.
turned on Punk and represented Lesnar.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That was a great match. Good
And the
call.
dynamics of the whole thing. Like SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all, don't sleep on SummerSlam 2013.
2013, yeah.
It was dope. Like the co-main events alone right there make it one of the better ones. But
yes.
yeah, that match was a lot of fun, but it was mostly built around the dynamic of Heyman messing with Punk in disbelief, like meanwhile he's getting his ass whipped by Brock Lesnar, doing everything he can to stay away from him
and not die. Yeah,
right.
and also lead up to this, I remember it being amazing. Like the promos between CM Punk and Heyman were, as you could imagine, all-time greats.
Yeah.
Dude, no, great call this one. And it was only a 10-minute match. It's a Brock Lesnar match.
That's not what it was about, though.
But that's the thing, is like the best of those style of Brock Lesnar matches.
Yeah.
They're ones that tell amazing stories in a short amount of time.
Yep.
And yeah, no, great call. That's a great one. No need to defend that.
Nope. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, on to the 6th slot.
We still haven't encroached on either.
This is nice. This is very. It's
a lot more
so hard
than I expected.
This is gonna be so hard. Yeah. It's gonna start getting ugly. I'm waiting, bracing for it. I'm bracing for it to get ugly any second.
I'm waiting to start firing my big guns.
Yeah.
When I get the roll, right?
It's which one of us is taking out the cannon first?
Yes.
All right, let's roll for number 6. See if it will be on this one, because it might be. I'm taking a big one on this one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. A 13. Come on,
4.
Lucky 13. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Here we go. That's right, because I'm going back to 2008, and I'm taking one of the few times that Hell in a Cell appeared at SummerSlam. Edge versus The Undertaker. And also, I'm going to argue this as well, because this was, first of all, this was crazy because it was a TLC match and a Hell in a Cell match. If you remember, because Edge was the TLC guy still, and there was tables, ladders, and chairs all involved in this match.
Seems par for the course nowadays, though, but back then,
sure,
not so much.
But they were able to get all the implements going. Undertaker choke slams Edge off a ladder straight to hell at the end of the match. The flames coming out of the hole in the mat where Edge went through. The great thing about this was it was PG era. This was, I would argue, the greatest PG era Hell in a Cell ever done. No blood, no like super gnarly spots. They bumped like crazy. Like there was a bunch of nasty spots in this. Don't get me wrong. But there wasn't any like gore or the kind of nasty stuff that happened at the Hell in a Cells before this. This was a PG era Hell in a Cell done right. And I argue it's the one that should have set the standard, but just it totally didn't. They couldn't live up to this one. But it's still one of the greatest matches of SummerSlam history. It's one of, I think, the best Hell in a Cell matches, not just PG era, but Hell in a Cell matches ever in terms of the story it told. It was both of these guys. I would argue Undertaker just the other side of his peak. Right around, just still right near the top, and Edge was absolutely at the very zenith of his career here. So fantastic match. Edge versus Taker, 2008, Hell in a Cell.
That's a good one.
What you got?
What have I got here? So 1, 2, 3. This is tough because I didn't have that one on my list either.
Nice.
But I would bet the front 5 is going to look very similar.
I suspect you are correct. I suspect you are correct.
So here's what I'm going to do.
Uh-oh. Are you going to take one of those front 5 and try to get it in now?
I'm going to save them.
Okay, good boy.
I'm going to be smart. Yes. Okay. 2015. SummerSlam.
Okay. Ooh.
Hot off of the Seth Rollins cash-in versus John Cena for a winner-take-all WWE Championship versus United States Championship match at the Barclays Center. And this was the famous Jon Stewart interference.
Yeah,
match.
Terrible.
Oh, terrible.
Terrible.
It was. I think the acting and the performance between Cena and Rollins made this match.
Yes.
Barclays Center being the sixth man, the main character there. Barclays is always hot. They were hot for these guys. Prime Authority era kind of stuff with
This is
Seth.
wild. This is wild. Your recency bias is showing. You've got 2013, 2009, 2016, 2013, 2015. Huh. You're right, though. It's an entertaining match. Very entertaining match.
Yep.
Like you said, this is Seth right at the height of his heelery. When he was having a quote unquote feud with Jon Stewart, who came out and then hit Cena in the stomach with the worst stomach chair shot ever. And then he run out of the ring with the chair and then go, oh crap, I was supposed to leave the chair in the ring, and run back into the ring with the chair
and
put it down so Seth could stomp Cena on the chair.
But ultimately, Seth wins, double champ, all that good stuff, right? Seth Rollins beats John Cena at SummerSlam. So everybody that says John Cena wins everything, I mean, no, he doesn't.
Not at SummerSlam, he doesn't.
He might be Mr. SummerSlam because of the matches and the prestige of the matches, but he's not winning them all.
Every single one that you've mentioned, he's lost.
Yeah.
And the one I mentioned, he's lost.
Huh.
So that's he lost, 13, 14, 15, 16. He lost straight.
And that was one of my alternates I was saving in case we overlapped. Because we haven't overlapped yet, I wanted to throw that one in there because I want to save the main ones that I wanted to, wanted to get to.
It's time. We're in the top 5. It's going to start getting ugly.
Do we need?
ready.
Do we need the?
No, we do not need. We never need that, Nick. We never ever need that again. Maybe you can bring it in for number 1. It starts getting really ugly. When it starts getting really ugly,
we'll be real dramatic about how we describe it and set it up.
They're perfect. Yeah. All right, roll for initiative for the 5 slot. 1, 2, 3. Oh, a 20, baby.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was a good one. I got a 16.
Okay. Ooh, that's a war. All right, I have a feeling this might be one of yours. We'll find out. From 1998, another ladder match. A match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep.
A match that put 2 future Hall of Famer main eventers on the map. This is the one that I remember watching it live and going, holy crap, these guys are my favorite guys. They're going to be huge. But it was still very early in both of their respective careers. They were mid-carders at this point. Their whole factions were having a feud. This was the Nation of Domination versus D-Generation X feud. The infamous one that had the blackface in it. This was The Rock versus Triple H at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship. The Rock, the heel champ, Triple H coming in as the baby face. And they had a damn fine ladder match for the time. It was not, there was no flippy spots. There was no fancy schmancy stuff.
That's the thing to call out about that match. It was pure violence.
It felt hard hitting.
Yeah.
It felt like a brutal ladder match, not like a spectacle ladder match. It felt like when people talk about how ladder matches used to be, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're talking about, the idea that the ladder is a weapon, that it's dangerous to climb it, it's dangerous to be around it, it's dangerous to be in these kinds of matches because you have to get high up off the ground, which makes you vulnerable. It was a brilliant match that foreshadowed the fact that both of these guys would be the top tier of the company for the next however long. Well, The Rock until he left, and Triple H for the rest of his career. This was the flashpoint in 1998. I remember being so excited by it, watching it, having no idea how big both of these guys would get, especially The Rock. Good God. At the time, we were like, that dude's really good. We weren't like, he's going to be the biggest movie star of all time ever. It's crazy. But, and Triple H will run the company. What? Yeah. So 1998, Rock Triple H ladder match, IC title. What you got in your 5 spot there?
It took us getting all the way to position 5 for us to pick one that overlapped. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Nice. That's nice. How very civilized of us.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to have to put this one in the 5 spot, looking at the other 4
nervous.
that I've got here.
I'm nervous.
2002.
Okay.
Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio. Rey's first pay-per-view
And you
match.
got to this was Rey's first pay-per-view. He was brand new. He was an absolute white-hot babyface. He had a huge opportunity here against Kurt Angle. And overall, SummerSlam 2002 is regarded as one of the best ever SummerSlams. And it being part of that kind of intrinsically rubs off on that match as well. I mean, the match itself was fantastic. The whole pay-per-view was fantastic. But the thing there was it was the emergence and the rise of Rey Mysterio in the WWE. So that was my number 5. Not much more to say about that one.
And it's only 10 minutes long.
Yeah, it's not much of a match, but they squeeze a lot into
so
the 10 minutes.
Buttery smooth. It is parquet.
Yep.
It is insane.
That was actually the first match I wrote down on the list when I was writing all these down. That was the very first one. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep.
No, I'm not mad at you for that. Great one. Great one. Great one.
Now it gets interesting.
Okay. Yes, it does.
Because I've saved all my big ones for now.
I'm taking a big daddy on this one. You better pray you win this role. On 1, 2, and 3. Another 20.
Fuck.
Right there, baby.
Right
Right there.
I believe you. I believe
you.
you.
Right.
Damn it.
Yeah, you ain't gonna like losing this one. Because I'm going to the year in the year 2000.
I know what it is.
Yeah, you have to. If it's from now, 2000 was a great SummerSlam.
It was. Another one, just like 2002. Another great 2000, 2001, 2002. All great SummerSlams.
All great. Yeah, 2002 might be one of the best ones, but 2000's in there as well. And 2000's also notable for being the first time that a now very famous match style was performed in WWE. We'd had some variations of this leading up to it, but we'd never had the full deal. We'd never had all 3 of these teams in a match together with all of their implements of destruction at the same time in the same place. And it's always going to overshadow by the WrestleMania ones. The second one of these took place at WrestleMania, and it was kind of a bigger deal. This was the daddy. This was the one that started it all. TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 1 from 2000. The Edge and Christian, Hardys, and the Dudleys going out there and blowing everyone's minds with this match. The spots, the ingenuity, the innovativeness, the risk-taking, the spot where Bubba Ray got thrown off the ladder onto like a stack of 4 tables, and they all exploded beautifully, the way that tables do when they naturally explode. I mean, you don't cut them, you don't prep them, you don't gimmick them. Yeah, I mean, Nick, I know you had this on your list. You had to. This is one of your favorite matches of all time. What do you remember about this match?
The only thing that you haven't already said is that it was the thing that kind of put Edge and Christian on the map. Because they won.
It kind of put them all on the map. And Edge and Christian won every single one of them. But I feel like
they were established. Like Edge was established as a singles guy. Christian, it was the thing. Them winning the titles kind of put them on the map as a tag team. And it put the stipulation, and it did, like you said, put all of them in this different world now, where everything revolved around tables, ladders, and chairs in anything that they did in all their gimmicks.
I'll agree with that. Edge's singles career was pretty abortive at that point, and he was known as a tag guy. By this point, he was pretty much a tag guy.
Yeah.
And the Hardys 100% were tag guys. The Dudleys came in there as being, one of the hottest tag teams in wrestling out of ECW. So, I mean, and these guys were hungry to make their name. And they basically, I don't know how this worked out. The backstage, they just basically took the leash off and were like, you guys do what you want. And they went out there and did the craziest damn stuff. Just to, these were guys that I think for the most part never expected to be the top of the card. And so they were out there just showing everybody else, like, look, we're going to be on this spot in the card. We're going to steal the show.
Yeah.
And completely accomplished. We're still talking about it today, and it's my number 4 slot.
It's one that I go back probably once a year and watch, just for my affinity towards TLC matches now. Mm-hmm. And I mean, just watching Bubba Ray power bomb. I think it was Edge off the top of the stands, just through tables. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent.
Crazy match. That's my number 4 slot. What do you have in your 4 slot there, sir?
I'm scared you're also going to pick the other ones that I have in the 3. So I'm going to pull one of my alternates out. I wasn't sure whether to rank this one or not.
Okay.
If this were a top 10, like ranked, this one would be on the list. I don't know if it's on my personal list, but I'm going to put it on there because you took that one from me. 1992, SummerSlam 92.
Oh, no.
Davey Boy Smith.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Versus Bret Hart.
Oh.
In a weird face versus face dynamic, just another all-time great Why do we have all-time great Intercontinental title matches at SummerSlam? But I don't. This was another one. The other interesting thing about this was it was in the UK. If you remember, SummerSlam 92, Wembley Stadium, massive venue, and you had 2 face characters here, brothers-in-law.
In storyline and in real life, remember this match was actually like you had Davey Boy Smith's wife and Bret's sister ringside for this. Diane, I think her name was. And Bret was the champ. He came into this nominally face, but worked this match heel. Was pretty heel in this match, even though he shook his hand at the end of the match.
Yeah.
So the hometown crowd could cheer for Bulldog, which Jesus Christ, when he won at the end, when he sits down on Bret Hart at the end, it's such a weird finish. By the way, this match is such a weird finish, but I think it's a great finish because it shows that Bulldog out wrestles the better technical wrestler.
Yeah,
that's the story. Is that Bret has his number the entire match, and then Bulldog goes, "I'm just going to beat you with a simple reversal." Brilliant,
the beauty of this being
like an early roll up.
Yeah, the beauty of this being when you have a face versus face and they're relatives like this, the crowd doesn't know who to cheer for. They're going to cheer for their favorites. It's a bit of bizarro world. Plus, you're in another country, right? So the fact that they were as workers, they were able to get this crowd hot. If you go back and watch this match,
they were hot before they touched.
The hum and the noise from Wembley Stadium during this match was insane. So yeah, definitely you got to put Bulldog and Bret Hart 92 for the Intercontinental title on here.
You actually took my number 2. Like this was my number 2.
Ooh.
This was one of my top ones, because it is legendary. A lot of people put this at the top of their lists. A lot of people put this as their number 1. Because it's so good. It's a simple match. You know what's crazy about this match as well? Bulldog forgot everything that they had planned for this match 5 minutes in. You can actually see the moment when they're doing a little rest hold, when he's got him in a headlock, and Bret kind of like leans his head down, and Bulldog's like, "I've forgotten everything, mate. I was smoking crack with Jim Neidhart all night. I'm blown up. I forgot what we were doing." Literally what he says. He was literally smoking crack all summer, smoking crack all night the night before with Jim Neidhart, and he blew up in the middle of the match. Was gassed. He was out of breath and totally forgot all the spots. Bret Hart. This is basically Bret Hart fighting a broomstick. Was this match?
Wow. I never knew that.
Which is even more insane. It makes it even crazier that they were able to get the match that they had out of this. And Davey was a talented dude. Shade aside, he was a very talented dude for his size. He was fired 2 months later, as I recall. Him and Savage both were out of the company within 2 months. And Savage was in the other main event. It was him versus Warrior, going to, I believe, some sort of non-finish. It was like a DQ finish. It was in the co-main event. It was right before this one, and both Savage and Davey Boy Smith got nabbed for HGH, coming back into the States, and so they were fired within 2 months.
Damn.
But definitely the biggest moment of Davey Boy Smith's career. Hometown audience going absolutely apeshit over his win.
Definitely.
Monumental match, monumental moment.
And then there were 3.
You utter bastard.
You took the TLC triple threat, so I mean,
bastard. Fair enough. All right.
All right. I would rank that one 2 or 3 levels higher. I feel like you fired a shot there, taking that one that early.
Maybe you know what? I might have. All right, so I'm gonna have to. Okay, so I've reorganized things. I think I'm okay. All right, to the number 3 slot. All right. Roll for initiative. Oh boy, I'm gonna hurt you on this one. 1, 2, 3. A 14.
4.
Oh. All right. Well, taking back over my number 3 slot to 2002. The return of Shawn Michaels.
You son of a bitch.
Told you I was going to hurt you on this one.
You're just going to pick the best ever match in the 3 spot?
This was your number 1? I mean, it's a really good match.
This is probably my number 1.
Shawn Michaels had he had
You know what a huge DX mark I was, and the story built around this was him coming back after 4 years, and trying to reform DX. Triple H turned on him. That was the baseline behind this match and what made it so good.
And we thought he would never wrestle again. 4 years before, we were told he'd never wrestle again. I remember living through this era and mourning the loss of Shawn Michaels, like that talented dude. And we lost him to injuries and his own and drugs and his own mental failings. And it was a tragic story. And so then to have this match kind of rewrite that story. And do you remember how going into this match, we were all like, God, does he still have it? Is he still Shawn Michaels? Can he still go? Can he still work a match? And then, of course, 30 minutes later after this match, we were like, oh shit, he totally can. In jeans.
Yeah.
In jeans. Because it's a street fight, Nick.
What else did I write down for this? Shawn wanted to reform DX. Triple H betrayed him. To me, easily the all-time great because of all of the things going on. You had a killer match between the two of them, 30-minute match. The history of DX behind him, storyline of him coming back and going away for 4 years and coming back, and best friends turned bitter enemies. All of that with two of maybe the greatest workers in WWE having a match. Come on, that's the kind of stuff we need in WWE today that we're lacking. That's what makes this, I think, maybe arguably one of the best, if not the best. SummerSlam
the story was
match.
there to support the work.
Yeah,
the work was absolutely there. We were wondering at the time if it was there. In hindsight, of course, we're like, oh God, it's Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Mr. SummerSlam. Come on.
But at the time, we didn't know. But the story was there to support it, like you said. Just fantastic all around. And it was a badass hardcore match, too.
Oh, it was beautiful.
All right, what's your number 3 then?
Son of a bitch. That was the one I was going to pick as number 1. That was my number 1.
My top 2 are still out there dangling like fruits in the wind. So
there's only one other one that I've got. I mean, I got to go down my list. Number 3, I'll pick Angle versus Lesnar at SummerSlam 2000. Again, SummerSlam 2003. If my markery for SummerSlam 2003 isn't shown through yet, here's the deal, guys. I've picked a lot of Lesnar matches, but this one, they all have reasons, right? This was Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, arguably two of the best Olympic amateur wrestlers of all time, in a wrestling match in WWE. We all understand that that's where things were 20 years ago.
Was this 02 or 3?
I'm pretty sure it was 03.
This was 03. Yeah, you're right. Ray
Another
was 02, so yeah.
Go watch SummerSlam 2003, guys. It's that good. Also, this was in storyline because Lesnar beat Angle at Mania a few months prior that year.
Right.
So you had this kind of back and forth. The other part of this was that somehow they pulled this amazing SummerSlam out of nothing, because there was nothing going on in 2003. 2003 sucked as a year of wrestling in WWE, right? But
they didn't know what they were doing.
Somehow SummerSlam was freaking amazing with all of these crazy matches that they just manifested out of thin air. Let's have the two best amateur wrestlers in the world just go at each other. One won 2 gold medals with a broken freaking neck, and one of them is a goddamn monster. Let them tear each other apart.
You could say he's a beast.
Hey,
But no, this is when Brock was truly just like,
oh God, unstoppable,
terrifying. Just
before he was well known in UFC and all of that stuff, before he had really made a mark in WWE that much, he was ginormous too.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was 2002 that he beat Rock for the championship at SummerSlam, wasn't it? Yeah.
And it was 4 with the Goldberg match, I believe.
Oh, God. The less said about that, the better. But yeah, no, Angle Lesnar, that's a great one to pull out for the 3 spot. Not mad at you. But all right, we got to go to the number 2. It's getting tight, Nick. Now the dice roll means something.
Please don't pick my match. Please, come on, dice. Work with me.
The dice roll. All right, 1, 2, 3. Come on, baby. 18.
I got a 4.
Oh,
I got a 4.
You screwed, boy. You screwed. I'm going. It's time to start doing some more with Mr. SummerSlam, the true Mr. SummerSlam.
Okay.
Going back to 1992 and a match that I actually watched as a kid. And it's funny because as a kid, I always, and this was a kid, I was 15 at the time. And so Bret Hart wearing pink didn't quite work for me.
Right.
You know, I was an edgy teenager. And I couldn't quite get my head around why this guy was so badass, but he still wore pink. Is he flash? But he's not flashy. He's not like, if you're wearing pink, you should be a character that's much more flamboyant and big and whatnot. And he wasn't. He was very workmanlike, very serious, very dour. And I'm like, is he an assassin? Why is he called the Hitman? This was the match that I finally understood it. Because it was him versus Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental Championship. Perfect was the heel champion. Bobby the Brain Heenan was his manager. And Heenan was on the call for this as well. He was announcing.
This was the 91 match, right?
92.
Did they have 2? 92 was Bulldog, the one that I just did in Wembley.
Oh, excuse me, 91. I'm sorry, I wrote it. You're right.
Yeah,
91. Yeah. I wrote it down incorrectly. My bad. My bad.
All good.
My bad.
Anything Bret Hart in this era is just okay.
91. Excuse me. I copied down my note incorrectly. I had it correctly up here, but down here I put 91. Thank you very much. Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect, and Bret Hart, he wrestled this match perfectly. Kicked out, first man, not the first man, one of the first guys to ever kick out of the Perfect Plex.
Yeah.
I certainly on a big stage. It was a big deal that he kicked out of the Perfect Plex. And then also the finish of this was beautiful too, with him on the ground afterwards, and he grapevines Perfect's legs, and then is able to transition over into a sharpshooter from being on his back. Just an absolutely beautiful finish. Perfect taps out right away because he had a really bad back going into this, and he was somehow still able to work an absolutely all-time classic match with a completely messed up back. So it shows how great he is. And he was willing to go out there. He even said, he's like, I wanted to go out there and put Bret over. This was his big coming out party. This was the one where it was supposed to take him from being a tag team guy to being like a major player. And I wanted to make him look really good. Not that he can't on his own, but like Perfect wanted to be the dance partner. And I can only imagine if Perfect had been 100%, the kind of match we would have had, if this is the kind of match that we had with Perfect not at 100%.
And he's criminally underrated as a wrestler. He didn't have that much time. He's not constantly injured and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, Mr. Perfect is one of those that I look back on and go, damn.
God, he's good.
And this was, if I remember right, this was like a 20-minute match. This was just wrestling butter. This is wrestling 101, like advanced, just super perfect kind of wrestling match. 2
of the best technical guys in WWE at the time.
Brilliant. And it's funny you're reading that from Perfect. This was kind of the launch of Bret Hart around this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Him and Bulldog in 92, and the one I'm going to call a couple of years later. Yeah.
You bet. Oh, no.
You took my number 1.
Oh, no.
I'm coming in.
What are you doing for number 2? What are you doing for yours?
Well, we're gonna fast forward about 3 years because I already called Davey Boy Smith versus Bret Hart at Wembley in 92, and you just called Mr. Perfect versus Bret Hart in 91. And there's no other Bret Hart match that can be in the top 2 except the time that was about 5 months after they had their championship steel cage match at WrestleMania.
No.
Brother versus brother, Bret versus Owen Hart at SummerSlam 94.
Oh, you bastard.
Oh, Owen won WrestleMania. Brett won SummerSlam to get it back. And I wrote down some fun facts. This was my number 2, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. Or sorry. Shawn Michaels, Triple H was my number 1. Fun facts about this one. This was actually in the shadow of the Undertaker versus Undertaker gimmick, if you remember that actually main evented at SummerSlam 94. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart did not main event SummerSlam 94.
No. Crazy.
It's nuts. Fun fact that I found while looking up some fun little trivia about this. Vince and Pat Patterson actually wanted the feud with Bret to be with Bruce Hart.
Yeah,
and look at what Owen became off the back of this feud with his brother.
This match is also one of the best cage matches ever in the history of WWE.
Mania,
and I'm not even a big fan of cage matches. This is one where you can only win by escape.
Yeah.
Which I typically hate that aspect of it when you have to escape. When it's the only thing you can do, though, you have my attention. And especially you got two guys like this making you just bite your nails every time one of them goes for the top of the cage or for the door. By the way, how crispy was that superplex that he laid on Owen at the when he's trying to get out at the one point? Oh, my soul. What a great match. You utter bastard taking my number 1.
Well, that's,
So now we're both of our number 1s are going to be really weird.
My number 1 is going to be really lame in comparison to the last 3 or 4. Because it's going to be one of my alternates that I'm just throwing in there. Because all the good ones have been checked. All the top ones have been checked off at this point.
I don't know. I'm looking at my alternate list here. I got a couple that I don't know about number 1, but they're damn good matches. They're pretty damn good. So let's do this, Nick. Let's look over the ones that we have so far, and then we'll go to our number 1 slot. So Nick, your number 10 was Daniel Bryan versus John Cena, 2013. Your number 9, CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy, ladder match, 2009. Number 8, Cena versus AJ Styles, the coming out party of AJ Styles, 2016. Number 7, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, the best versus the beast, 2013. Number 6, Seth Rollins needing Jon Stewart's help to beat John Cena, 2015. Number 5 was Rey Mysterio showing that he is all that against Kurt Angle in 2002. Number 4 was Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog in Britain, in Wembley in 92. Can't believe it's all the way up at 4. Your number 3 was Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar in just beautiful match, 2003. Number 2, Bret and Owen in a cage from 1994. You utter rat bastard. My top 10 so far. Number 10, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar from 2014. The squash that heard around the world. Number 9, the Boiler Room Brawl between Mick Foley and Undertaker from 1996. Number 8, Shawn Michaels bouncing his happy, beloved ass all over the ring for Hulk Hogan. He's a sexy boy, ladies and gentlemen. 2005. Number 7 was The Fiend debuting and squashing Finn Balor in 2019. Number 6, Edge versus The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell from 2008. Number 5, The Rock versus Triple H ladder match, Intercontinental title, 1998. Number 4, TLC number 1 from 2000. Sorry, buddy. Number 3, Triple H and Shawn Michaels unsanctioned match from 2002.
There's no way that belongs at number 3.
Well, hey, Bret Bulldog at 4. Get out of here. And then number 2, I've got Bret Mr. Perfect from 1991, just to be certain, 1991. So the number 1 slot, Nick. That's
going to pale in comparison to the 3 or 4 that we just rattled off.
Clear, yeah. The number 1 on both of our lists, because this was a war of attrition, deserves to be higher. But hey, that's how this works. So 1, 2, 3 for initiative. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh shit, a 7.
I got to roll again. Sorry, 1 sec.
I have a 7. I'm in danger. I'm vulnerable.
Son of a bitch. 2.
Oh, no.
This doesn't matter anyway.
Now that is a sore loser right there.
That might be a sore loser. Like I've named all my matches at this point.
Doesn't matter. Whatever.
I mean, if you can get through all whatever 15, 16 matches that you just rattled off, Ian, those are easily in the top. All of those will be in the top 20 SummerSlam matches of all time.
Well, I've got one we haven't mentioned.
Okay, let's
and
hear
I'm
it.
shocked it hasn't been mentioned, and it deserves to be somewhere on this list.
Okay.
I don't know about number one, but maybe for the irony of this show, it can be number one.
Okay.
And I don't want to take it because I think it'd be funnier if you took it for your number one. And I do have an alternate number one. I just don't know if you're going to pick this one. I need you to pick it if I'm going to pick my alternate. This music's not helping.
That's the point.
Do I think, Nick?
I think you should do which of the matches you liked better. Not about what I might or might not pick.
Do I have the option to go back and change it if you don't do the right thing?
Why not?
Or can I hint to you what your number one should be? No? Okay.
Give me the year.
Of the one that you should do?
The one that you think I'm going to do. Let me do that. Mine is from 2004.
Oh. Okay, it's not the one I think it is.
Yeah.
Damn, 2004. All right, then I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to go to 2005.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go to yet another ladder match. Only this time, it's not a championship belt hanging above the ring. No. It's a briefcase. And in that briefcase are some papers. Some papers that determine the custody of a young blonde-haired child who is ringside for this match, watching as his father and his poppy fight for his future. The custody of Dominic ladder match between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero is my number one pick.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And the only thing I gotta say is
about that was I forgot that was at SummerSlam.
Where the F is Vicky? Because remember, the ending was botched. Vicky missed her cue, and so Eddie was trying to sell. She was supposed to stop him from climbing the ladder. He's out there selling while Rey's trying to climb slow, and he's sitting there covering his mouth going, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" He's so mad. Dominic gets involved. What a shit show. What an absolute
I think he even had the Michael Cole frosted tips thing going on. Dominic did?
Yeah, he was just completely blonde at this point.
Yeah, I don't remember.
What a shit show of a feud. What a shit show of a match. Also, one of the most legendary matches of all time, and for our show especially, a very, very special, very special feud. My number one, custody of Dominic ladder match between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio.
And to be clear, for those that are just tuning in, that's not our number one SummerSlam ever match.
It's mine. I'm sticking by it. I'm sticking by it.
All right, I am not doing that for this one. This feels like a fill in the blank with a good enough match to take the spot.
Stop it. Stop grousing. What's your real number one here?
Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero. SummerSlam 2004.
That's a damn good one, man. That's.
If you remember back, this was the time of JBL. JBL had won the title off of Guerrero a few months prior. Angle wasn't really wrestling. He had a bunch of injuries, which led to him running the show. And the idea was that Angle was so hurt that he had to be pushed around in a wheelchair by Luther Reigns. You remember all that dynamic and everything?
Luther Reigns.
Reigns, right? So Guerrero won their match at WrestleMania, so this was the rematch after Angle had cost Eddie the title during the match against JBL. So this was on the list. I opted not to pick it. It was meant to be in the 7 to 10 range. This match definitely needs to be on the list though. So Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero 2004.
Yeah, I mean honestly, number one slot does seem a bit odd. But it's a really freaking good match.
Yeah, it is.
It deserves to be on the list.
A lot of story around it. It involved Kurt Angle, who was one of the biggest stars at the time. So, yeah.
Well, all right, sir. There it is. There's our lists, which means it's time. We got to break these lists down. You were ready with the cue.
I was.
We got to break this down. We're going to have our matches compete in head-to-head competition, and we're going to break this down to determine our top 5. This is going to get ugly real quick. All right. Our 10 slots are going to compete. That's so yours is Daniel Bryan versus John Cena 2013. Mine's Cena versus Brock 2014. The squash heard around the world. Let's roll for it on 3. 1, 2, 3. A 20 for Cena and Brock.
13.
Oh, well, they got the year right. Cena Brock 2014 is taking that 10 slot. Time for the 9 slot. Nick, that's going to be me, Mick Foley, and Undertaker 96 in a Boiler Room Brawl, and you're taking CM Punk and Jeff Hardy from 2009. Roll for which of these matches goes on into history in 3, 2, 1, go. 13.
17.
Oh, my goodness. The Boiler Room Brawl is out.
Yep. It's the best in the world. You kidding?
I guess so. He's not he's not messing around here.
Yeah.
All right, let me write that down. From 2009. Number 8 slot, we've got Cena versus AJ Styles from 2016 competing with Michaels versus Hogan from 2005. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Let's see who wins. 16.
17.
Oh, damn. No.
Boom.
Oh, no. My beautiful match, but my beautiful overselling match. Where did you go? Oh, that sucks. All right. For the number 7 slot, we've got CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, the Best versus the Beast from 2013 versus The Fiend debuting and squashing Finn Balor 2019. 3, 2, 1, and go. 15.
1.
Oh, damn.
Ouch.
Squashed by The Fiend.
Appropriate, though.
How very appropriate that The Fiend versus Balor should absolutely squash CM Punk versus Brock. All right, soon in it. Number 6 slot, we've got Edge and Undertaker from 2008, Hell in a Cell, versus Seth Rollins and John Cena 2015. Now, come on. The Jon Stewart run-in is not going to beat Hell in a Cell.
No.
Come on, Nick. Come on. You can't let that happen.
I don't know. Jon Stewart's over there vigorously eating popcorn in his GIF, right?
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
8. Oh, shit. 8. Come on.
7.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh, thank God. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. Don't do that. My goodness. That was almost a travesty of history. To the 5 slot, Rock Triple H Intercontinental Ladder match from 1998 versus Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle, 2002. 2 damn good matches.
Damn.
Who's coming out on top? Nick, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, a 5.
2.
Oh! Wow.
I am not rolling good today.
That's okay because I think The Rock Triple H deserves to be in that slot, frankly.
I agree.
That's just me.
I agree.
Over to the 4 slot, TLC 1 from 2000 versus Brett and the Bulldog in Wembley in 92. This should be a fight for the number 1 slot, but it's happening in the number 4 slot. Oh, my God. This is going to be a bloodbath. If one of these is off the list right there, it's oof. Okay. This is how it's going to be. Here we go, Nick. In 3, 2, 1. Come on, big money. 13.
Natural 20.
Yes. Okay.
Thankfully.
Thank God.
Yeah.
You know what? TLC deserves to be on the list, but Bulldog and Brett needs to be on the list. Oh. Okay. Our reputations will be intact.
Yes.
Number 3, Angle and Lesnar from 2003 versus Triple H, Shawn Michaels, unsanctioned from 2002. You better throw this one, sir. 3, 2, 1, go. Natural 20 for Triple H and Shawn Michaels, as it should be. See, this is why, Nick, when you question the dice,
yeah,
this is how you know There is a force that exists in the world that says, no, that unsanctioned match is the shit. Natural 20. Bam.
Triple H versus Shawn Michaels is the best SummerSlam match ever, period. I'll go on record here and say it.
All right. Well, let's see if the dice agree with you. But we're going on to number 2. Bret
This
Hart
one's going to be brutal.
facing himself. It's either him and Owen or him and Perfect, 94 or 91. Ooh. Which one of these? I'm happy with either one. I mean, I think Owen's a little better, but yeah. But let's see what the dice says.
With condolences to Kurt Hennig, right?
You're right. 3, 2, 1. 3.
I got a 3 too. We have to re-roll.
Oh no. Oh.
That's not good. That's not good omen.
Tied. These matches are so evenly tied. Bret Hart fighting against himself. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sweating. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm glad you turned off the music.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. 2.
Oh no.
You didn't. Did you roll a 1? Shut up. How did you botch that, dude? Wow.
I rolled a 1.
Wow. You had
I'm sorry,
critical,
Owen.
Critical failure. Critical failure. Unbelievable.
Wow. I'm sorry, Owen. Rest in peace, buddy. I have failed you.
Oh, Jesus. Well, this is going to be an interesting list. And to the number 1 slot, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, custody of Dominic match from 2005, or Kurt versus Eddie from the year before. Nick, are you ready, sir?
I'm almost.
Okay.
Now I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, and go. 15.
What? No. Hang on, sorry. 12.
Yes. As it should be. Eddie Ray, custody of Dominic, is your number 1. But will it stay there, or will it be supplanted by Bret and Perfect? We're getting down to the final round, Nick. We're paring this down to 5. Oh boy. All right, starts off Cena and Brock squash versus CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. Are you ready? You'll take the odds. Oh, you want to? Yeah,
Punk
you take
and
the
Hardy?
odds, I'll take the evens. You'll take Punk and Hardy. You take the odds, I'll take the evens.
Okay.
So Cena and Brock versus CM Punk, Jeff Hardy in 3, 2, 1. A 5 for
13.
Cena. Oh my goodness. All right, Punk and Hardy is your number 5. Your number 4, Cena and Styles from 2016 versus The Fiend squashing Finn Balor from 2019.
Oof.
My goodness. I know which one I'm rooting for, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. I've got AJ Cena. You've got The Fiend.
No, because I'm evens your odds.
Okay.
So I'm 8, you're 7. So you're
okay.
Fiend and Balor.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Oh, shit. Keeps jumping off the.
Let me teach you how to roll.
I need more desk space. That's what I need. 7.
Well, that beats me. I had a 4.
Oh.
So Fiend squashing Finn Balor dances on into our 4th spot.
God. Okay.
All right. Here goes our reputations as a wrestling show. Number 3 slot is going to be The Edge and The Undertaker in 2008 versus The Rock and Triple H in 1998. That's a pretty good fight right there.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good matchup. In 3, 2, 1, Nick. An 18.
A 1 again.
Wow. Rock and Triple H.
What is going on, Di?
Hard.
Come on, Di.
Come on, guy. I'm not mad at it. And then down to R2, our number 2, Bret and Bulldog versus Shawn and Triple H. It's going to have to get ugly at some point, ladies and gentlemen. This is I've got Bret Bulldog, you got Shawn Triple H, the way it should be, dude. Fight for your boys, Nick. Fight for your boys. Fight for them now. In 3, 2, 1. 19. You better come with the 20.
2.
Oh, good God. Davey Boy Smith.
I'm calling shenanigans on my die. I've never rolled this bad.
All right. Hey, Brett Bulldog is not a bad one to win.
No, but it's no Triple H.
Can't be too mad at that.
Shawn
No Triple H, Shawn Michaels. That's true. And now for our number 1 slot. Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect from 91 versus Eddie and Ray, custody of Dominic. Who will come out on top? In 3, 2, 1. 14 for Eddie and Ray.
I saved the day with a 15.
Oh, Bret and Mr. Perfect win the day at your number 1 slot. Our top SummerSlam matches of all time. CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy from 2009. The Fiend and Balor from 2019. Edge versus The Undertaker Hell in a Cell from 2008. Bret versus the Bulldog at Wembley in 92 is our number 2. And number 1, Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect from 91. All right. All right. All right. All right. And look at hey.
Bret Hart in the first 2 spots I can get behind.
Bret Hart in the first 2 spots, Edge and Taker in number 3. I'm not mad at that. The die don't lie. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your top SummerSlam matches of all time. I hope this has given you some hunger or some thirst to go watch some SummerSlam matches to get ready for the big day coming up. Because if you listen to this show, you're a patron. If you're a patron, that means you can play in the patron pick'ems. If you play in the patron pick'ems, that means you're playing for prizes. It's a lot of P's, a lot of alliteration. That's right. Coming up at SummerSlam, it's going to be back on the line, the Grand Championship of Busted Wide Open. You, too, could become a Grand Champion or a Booby Champ. People are fighting for that now these days.
And why is that? Because we're having a takeover event the night after. Interesting twist for SummerSlam this year. SummerSlam is actually slated to be on the Saturday and NXT TakeOver 36 on the Sunday. I guess they got tired of putting takeovers on Saturday nights and overshadowing the main roster pay-per-views.
It's actually to do with scheduling going on at the same time in Vegas.
I make up my own narrative.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. Okay. Sorry.
But yes, we're bringing back the Grand Championships. Get ready, Dubstep Rob. We've got another 2-eventer. You guys will be making 2 sets of picks in the pick'ems for both TakeOver 36 and SummerSlam.
All hail the Dubstep one. He is your current champion.
Yep.
We need to praise him more, man. He is our big pick'ems champion from WrestleMania. That was no joke. That was a war. Yeah.
2 nights of NXT and 2 nights of WrestleMania also. Keep that in mind. It was insane this year.
Yeah. So.
Oh, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining us for this. If you're listening later or watching later, this will be available to anyone at the $10 membership on YouTube and any $10 patrons as well over at patreon.com/BWO. If you're on YouTube checking it out and want to see it, you can jump down and hit that join button. Just sign up for the $9.99 tier, and you'll be able to see the VOD in our library. If you're over on Patreon, I'll be posting a link to that later for you guys. But thank you very much for joining us, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow night breaking down. Guys, if you haven't watched AEW Dynamite yet, go watch AEW Dynamite. Holy smokes, that show was amazing last night. Charlotte freaking showing up representing.
And also, NXT. Justin Roberts really drove that one home last night.
Yeah, he did.
But also NXT this week, Anna wasn't kidding. Anna was not joking.
Yup.
That was a hell of a show.
I appreciate her not dropping spoilers either. Thank you, Anna.
I will not drop a spoiler now. All I'll say right now is your boy very excited for TakeOver.
Yup.
Your boy is very excited for TakeOver.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yes. So we'll be breaking all that down. Plus SmackDown tomorrow night, immediately following SmackDown. Right over there on our Twitch channels, YouTube, and Facebook, as always. So thank you guys. Hope you join us over there if you haven't already by the time you heard this.
Indeed. Thank you very much for joining us, those of you in the live chats on YouTube and Twitch here. But the VODs will be up very soon, guys. But until then, my name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
But by God!
Would somebody stop the damn track?
This show is part of the Orbital Jigsaw Network. For more episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher Radio.
For details and show notes from each episode, check us out, orbitaljigsaw.com.